Yes, people of Earth, I am Blazor of Orbis 4, and I too am glad to eat you.
Meat!
Yes, meat, yes, glad to meet you.
We have come from 256 light years away to invite you to our home, the Rings of Orbis, and to introduce you to the chronicle of our story, PJ Harsma.
Is PJ from this little planet? Is PJ from Earth?
Yes, PJ is an Earthling too, just like these good folks before you, and a brilliant one too.
PJ Harsma very much. I would love to have him for dinner. Yes, have dinner with PJ. How will these Earthlings access our story? Will we insert the mind probe?
Of course not. On Earth, people read books. Thanks to kids need to read. The teachers at ASU Preparatory Academy have brand new hardcover books and Kindle ebooks for their students to access our story. Put that mind probe installer away.
No embedded mind probes. Reading books and e-books. How primitive.
It's not primitive at all. It's how they do things on planet Earth. It's actually very cultured and fun. Students will read about the Rings of Orbis and all the living beings there, from knee walkers to nutmix. In fact, they will even learn how to play the Rings of Orbis video game.
Playing a video game at school? That's amazing. Can I go to ASU Preparatory?
Are you between the ages of 6 and 14?
Yes, in fact, I am exactly 614.
That's about 600 years too old. I think it's time to meet PJ, the author, and let him tell us about the software and the Rings of Orbis. Calling PJ. PJ, come in. PJ.
Hey, thank you guys. That was funny, wasn't it? Outer space. We're going to talk about aliens, and we're going to talk about a subject that is very, 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 very close to me. We're going to talk about video games. That's all I get for video games? So listen, now don't get me wrong. My fascination with outer space started way before my addiction to video games. Now, I wasn't a kid who had all the Star Wars toys or knew the names of all the rockets. No, for me it was really simple. I just walk outside, look up at all those stars and wonder, what's out there? Is anything out there? Think about it, just inside our own galaxy. What's the name of the galaxy? There are 135,000 million stars. Get your head around that number. That's like winning the $1 million lottery every single day for 40 years. There are 100 billion planets, just like the Milky Way inside our galaxy. So my question is, where are all the aliens? If those numbers were right, don't you think there'd be aliens at every single street corner? There's not. Anybody out there ever seen a real alien? You saw a real alien in the front there. You saw a real alien where? Your sister? Your brother? The guy next to you? going to be published, I was very excited about talking to the marketing department about things we could do to reach out to kids. I had been in advertising my whole life, and I had a lot of ideas. So I flew to Boston, where my publisher is, and I go into this boardroom, and there's this big table around, and there's these people sitting around, there's like 13 people sitting around there, and there's a woman at the end, and she has my book. She has the copy of my first book. She stands up, and she's so excited, and she goes, "This is so good. Girls are just gonna love this book." And I said, "Girls, you see the alien on the cover, right? Granted, girls are gonna like this book, but boys are really gonna like this book." And they looked at me and they said, "Yeah, but boys don't read anymore." They said that, they go, "Boys don't read anymore." I go, "I'm a boy, I read." They go, "Yeah, but we can't get boys away from movies, from television, from video games." Of course, you're marketed to. So I said to them, I go, "Well, listen, let's make a video game." And they looked at me and they go, "You can't make a video game now. You have to wait till it's a movie or something. You don't make video games about books." I go, "Well, maybe that's part of the problem. Let's meet them halfway. Let's get online. Let's make a place where they can hang out while they wait for the new books, a game based on the story." And they looked at me and they looked at each other and they said no. So I did it anyways. So now, the first thing you do on the Rings of Orbis is you have to figure out what character you want to be. Now I'm a Truffledore, these huge aliens that have another alien living inside them and they wear their brains on their heads. You can choose the different characters that you want to be, and as new books come out, new characters come into the game. And you can even be the villain Madam Lee herself. Now, just like when JT arrives on an alien planet and he has to figure out where everything is, that's part of the gameplay. These are the actual screens, and you have to mouse around and find out where everything is and what things mean. The book obviously describes them. In the game, if you don't have that, you got to figure it out on your own. So it can be a little daunting. I really recommend you have the book when you're playing this game. Now, if you're not into metal, and you don't like spaceships, I have these cute little fuzzy things for you called ring things. Now, I'm not a big fan of cute fuzzy things, so I created a science lab where you can download genetic material and then inject the ring things and start changing them into weirder and weirder and weirder characters. So it's a lot of fun to experiment with those guys. Now, the other side of it is that we have it attracts a lot of artists and writers, and there's a section called the Nutnik Chronicles where you can create short stories about your characters, put them up online, and then we have real educators, real publishers and editors that are looking for stories, and we're actually going to create